Well, hey there, gang. It's Jim
And Christy.
Jacobus with Your Marriage Matters, a podcast for those who want to experience everything you dreamed of and more when you said, I do. Babe, today we have some really, really good friends on the podcast.
So excited.
Yeah. We, as you know, this month we've gone through going back to school. We did a podcast together. I did one by myself. Christy did one by herself. And tonight we are interviewing Matt and Julie Barnhill, who, Matt, I'm trying to think, how long have we known each other?
Oh gosh, Jim.
Jason was in
2005?
high school.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
He was,
So-
so when did he graduate from high school? It was right around then.
2003.
2003.
Okay.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So yes, probably 25 years.
At
Wow.
least over 20 years for sure, huh?
Mhm.
Yeah.
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 Wow.
Yeah,
Well,
we're that
and
20
we've
years
been
ago.
kind of catching up here a little bit and laughing and crying some tears. So if our eyes are watery,
Mhm.
it's because we're laughing at ourselves, not because we're sad for anything. But guys, I'm so glad you're with us today. As we've been talking about all month long, how important it is to commit to being the best version of ourselves and commit to being the best version of Team Jacobus we can possibly be. And gang, if there's anybody we look to as mentors and role models for that, it's Matt and Julie. So guys, I could introduce you, but why don't you tell everybody the story of the Barnhills? Don't leave out any of the fun stuff, because if you do, I'll just bring it up. But tell everybody who are the Barnhills and why are you here?
Hey, first of all, we're really honored that you would ask us,
We really are.
because we certainly don't think of ourselves as someone would be looking up to. We do try to put our best foot forward every day, and so we're committed to that. But Julie and I met when we were 12 years old in a little town in north central Texas where we both lived, a little town called Graham, Texas. Her family moved to Graham. I was born there. And we met as seventh graders. And we're walking along. It's a one high school town. So we knew each other all through middle school and into high school. And our senior year of high school, we found ourselves, in an art class together. And she didn't have a boyfriend and I didn't have a girlfriend. And that wasn't uncommon for me because I dated around. But Julie always had a boyfriend. And
Here we go.
They got sideways or something. And I thought, it is time. It is time for me to move in. And in all seriousness, I think we had our first date like February of our senior year of high school.
Wow.
And we were fond of one another. And the summer after we graduated from high school, no other way to say it, we just flat fell in love.
Mhm.
And I was already planning on going away to college out of state, and she was going to college kind of down the road from Graham. And so we did that, and we missed each other horribly. So I left where I was going, came back to where she was going, and we've been together ever since, other than just, a couple highs and lows just as early college kids. But we got engaged at the end of our sophomore year of college. We married the summer after our junior year of college. So we went our senior year of college as a married couple. And on our first anniversary, we had a 1 month old. It was so close when people would say, hey, when's your baby due? And we'd tell them, July, I think. June, you could see them doing math.
They're doing the math.
Bridge Club was doing this.
Yeah. So,
Hilarious.
anyway, we fell in love as 18-year-olds, married as 21-year-olds, and we just celebrated our 44th anniversary.
Wow.
And golly, it's just, I really do think we have a great marriage because I chose well. Julie's just an incredible woman. So I'll let her pick up the story when our kids started coming, because that's some of the
Our
best.
lives.
Yeah, that's our whole
Julie, let me
life.
just ask you to confirm, because some people watching this on video may not find this. You guys were in the same grade. You weren't, advanced he wasn't, set back 5 years. So
Yeah.
you were actually the same age in the same grade?
Yeah.
We are.
Okay, I just wanted,
We
people
are.
watching this might not
Yeah.
buy that. All right.
I know exactly. I tell people I've known Matt when he was a stinker. So
That's
I wanted nothing to
yesterday.
do with him.
yeah.
Yeah.
But there are hope for stinkers.
Yeah.
In seventh grade, boys that get in
That's
trouble.
Julie's version of profanity, by the way.
Yeah. If
Yeah.
you choose well. If you choose well.
Yeah. So yeah, we had a baby really young, and Matt was in grad school. And so to top it off, we thought, well, we'll just start a family then early. And we had 2 more girls, and really enjoyed raising girls and having an all-girl family. And then they grew up and married, and we have 3 son-in-laws, and now we have 10 grandchildren.
Wow.
So we're big and full and loud and rowdy, and we have everything under the sun. People sometimes will say to me, "Oh, your life's so perfect," and I want to say, you just don't know. We have, depression, anxiety, autism, adoption, just epilepsy, just everything that all other families have. We have it too.
Wow. And tell them a little bit about each of your girls and their families.
Well, our oldest daughter, her name is Megan, and she married John, and he was in the Air Force. He retired a few years ago. So they live the Air Force life, and they have our oldest 3 grandchildren. And the older 2 of those 3 are actually a freshman and sophomore at Texas A&M now, if you can believe it.
No.
We got grandkids in college, for crying out loud.
Oh my gosh, it's crazy to us. And John retired, and he flies for he was a pilot in the Air Force, and now he flies for American Airlines, and works for Lockheed Martin as a consultant as well. And then Megan got her master's degree a few years ago, and now she's a therapist as well.
Yep.
So she's joined that part of our lives. And then Brittany, our middle daughter, is an attorney. They live north of Dallas, and she is an attorney there. She's a prosecutor, and her husband owns his own business. Jack owns his own insurance business, and they have 3 boys that are darling and lots of fun, twins, and then another little boy. And then Brianna and Tyler live in Magnolia, and they have 4 of our kiddos. Tyler is an electrical engineer, and Brianna's been a stay-at-home mom for a long time. And this past year she went back to work.
Wow.
So yeah.
Well, I ask you to share all that because we could spend the entire time together talking about stories about the kids and
we could
all those things that have gone on, and so many fun stories. But I do want people to realize you guys have a little, like you said, you have a little bit of everything.
We do.
Many kids and grandkids, you're going to have all kinds of experiences. That's for sure. So
we do.
And so Matt, when did you start Barnhill and Associates, or when did you start as a counselor?
Well, man, right out of when I was a senior in college, I was working at a psychiatric hospital in Abilene, Texas.
Right.
So even as a 21-year-old newly married man, I had a job at a psych hospital. So from that point forward, that was 1982. I've been working in one venue or another, but it's all been counseling, either 20 years of church work, hospital work, private practice. In the early 80s, I was at another private practice. And in 2012, so 13 years ago, we started Barnhill and Associates Counseling Center. And we've got 13 other colleagues here, and 3 or 4 different satellite offices. And so we're really enjoying seeing people's lives impacted by caring people.
Mhm.
I remember a little bit of angst when you first did that, and I can't believe it's 13 years ago.
I know.
Isn't that
How
wild?
would you say it's worked out?
It's worked out great.
Yeah.
We love what we do. We love um, having this sense of we succeed and fail on our own terms, you know,
Yeah.
kind of, it's far more entrepreneurial than I ever thought it would be. I thought I'm just going to go and I know how to counsel people, sit in an office and talk to people and, you know, give guidance and direction and be therapeutic and so forth. I had no idea it would require me to be an entrepreneurial business person,
Yeah.
which
Yeah.
I didn't have experience in that, although I'd guys like you, Jim, and a dozen other men who I've been close to over the years have been incredible entrepreneurs. So I've actually learned more than I even realized that I had learned just being around folks like you. So Julie and I have I can say we're learners. We love to learn. So when I'm around people like you and so many others, I'm learning all the time, man. I'm paying attention. I'm slow to speak and quick to listen. And that's been super helpful in what we do even now. And I, find myself at my age, at this season of my life, and Julie would say the same. I hear her clients talk about their time with Julie. We're giving guidance and direction that's seasoned by so much experience and
Yeah.
the wealth of people that God has crossed our path with over the years.
Yeah.
It's like,
Yeah.
we're rich in relationships, quite frankly.
Well, and again, anybody that's crossed your path, they would say the same too. I'm sure of that. So, Julie, how long tell us about your path to be sitting next to Matt there and saying that you're also a counselor and a therapist.
Well, I stayed home with our girls until Brianna, our youngest, went into first grade. And then I started teaching preschool. I have an education in early childhood. So I had a degree in early childhood. And so I taught preschool for a few years, and then I taught kindergarten for 15 years. And during the last 5, probably, I went back to grad school and got my degree in counseling. So I've been doing this without teaching school for about 8 years. So
And
it's gone by so fast.
Yes.
We work together a lot, and you guys work together. What's it like working together? Is that?
She loves it. Jim, she pushes back on the sexual harassment. I don't know if she's going to come off probation or not, but
Yeah.
You know what? I hope you never do.
I don't see him all day.
It's
fine.
It's really, we laugh about it because our morning schedules are different. So we'll come to work in 2 different cars. And we'll be here till 8 o'clock at night. And if we don't walk out into the waiting room and greet our next client at the same time, I won't see her at all. Even though she's on the other side of the wall. I can hear her laugh sometimes because she's a loud laugher.
And I hear Matt sneeze.
And she says she hears me sneeze because I'm an explosive sneezer. And we'll go home having been 20 feet from one another all day and go, hey, how was your day?
Wow. Huh.
So we work at the same place, but it's a very independent, and we have other therapists that are coming and going in the other offices here in the office suite. So we may or may not even see them. It's again, if you're not standing at the printer at the same time or in front of the file cabinet, you may not interact with your colleagues. So
I have a question about that, because we can do the same thing when we're on the road in the RV. Christy can be in the garage working for, as you know, hours doing her online stuff, and I'm in office and I'm working, and so we have the similar experience, probably not quite the same, but similar. I like just knowing she's present.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do
just
enjoy
the fact
that.
that she's there even though
Right.
we don't interact for hours at a time, just her knowing that she's there is comforting.
Right.
That
Right.
is that
Yeah.
too codependent, or is that, is that do you
Yeah.
guys find comfort in just the fact that you're building something together, working together, even though you
Oh,
don't?
yes.
that-
Oh, yes, for
very,
sure.
very much so.
Yeah. Especially at our age. That's
Mm.
just really nice.
So
Mhm.
Julie, and Matt, you just did the same thing. So let me caution you. A year and a half ago, 2 years ago, I had an episode where I got overheated playing pickleball in the middle of a July day in Houston and wound up going to the emergency room. And between the EMTs and the emergency doctors and everything, I heard probably a dozen times at your age, and I really don't like that term.
Okay, I'll try to refrain from
I
saying it.
recoil at that term.
At our
I
age.
get what they were trying to communicate. I would prefer to say, with your experience,
Uh-huh.
my background,
With
with
the
your
I
wife
know,
as a nurse,
right?
you should know better.
Right,
Anyway.
right,
massive
yeah.
number of candles on your birthday
Yeah.
cake.
Anyway,
Uh-huh.
so we could do this all day, but let's jump into a few things that would be helpful to folks. You guys have a ton of experience between your marriage, your kids, your work, your faith commitments. What have been the 2 or 3, if you could point out, learning experiences that you guys have come across during your marriage that really serve you well, even to this day? What are some of those experiences y'all had?
Learning experience. You go first.
Um, one was we came from homes that were, quite frankly, really stable. We had moms and dads, both of us did, who loved the Lord, who loved one another, and we had no idea how good we had it. But we have come to realize that, as we got into our adult life, we go, good night. That really served us well, that we came into marriage, even as young people who, young marriages struggle and don't always last and so forth. And
Yeah.
we came in and we had, Julie had good role models of a husband and a wife who cared for one another, were hardworking people, as did I. So we can take no credit for that, but we came from stable homes. They weren't perfect by any means.
Mm-mm.
There was, any number of things that probably could have sought counseling for, but overall it was very stable, and we had low trauma and or trauma with a little t, and so that was certainly a huge benefit for us. And then another thing that I'm reminded of, even these days, when we first moved away from where we lived when we got married out of college and so forth, and we moved to the Houston area, we started going to a church that only had a few young married couples. And most of our friends were 15 years older than us. So we're 25-ish, and they're all, because we went to a few of these, having 40-year-old birthday parties.
Mm.
And so we had some of our closest friends were mentors, and they had not perfect but solid marriages, and they were dedicated to having healthy marriages. They were also dedicated, and I think this is unique to a church at that time. This is 1985. They were dedicated to small groups.
Oh.
Mhm.
Oh, wow.
And now I know, in hindsight, a small group is one of the most effective places to grow spiritually, to grow relationally, to grow, to be discipled. I mean, it's just a great environment for growth.
Mhm.
And so we're getting to know these couples who are early 40s, who have 10, 12, 15-year-old kids. So we're getting and again, Julie and I are learners. We're sitting there soaking it up, trying to take all the things we're seeing them do well and learn from them. And they're all really open, transparent people that would confess when they made a mistake, and were very, very vulnerable and transparent. So we're trying to learn. Listen, we're learning from their mistakes and their their features and their flaws. So that, I mean, that served us really well. I mean, us being learners put us in a position that God's going, well, if you're a learner, I got a bunch of great other kids of mine that'll teach you. And that really, apart from many of things that on our own, we were in two environments the first 25 years of our life, or 30 years of our life, that really served us well. And now those people are in their 80s, and
Can't believe
some
it.
of them are with Jesus, and they're all still walking so close with the Lord. They're still showing us how to live this chapter of our life well. We'll see them and talk to them. When Julie and I, at that age, 25, there was a guy who was a CPA, and we identified him, and he started doing my taxes, and he's now 82, and he just retired. He's done my taxes all those years.
Oh,
Are you
So
are you not talking about David, are you?
I'm talking about Newt Vanneman.
Okay.
Oh.
All right. I was thinking David
Yeah.
Blunstrom. You know him.
Yeah.
Oh, that'd be great.
Yeah. So Newt just retired, and
Wow.
he held on to us as a long-term
Wow.
client forever. And we didn't have much money, so he didn't have to work very hard. You know? So
He was he's such an
but
encourager.
he's
Even today.
he is a perfect example, him and his peer group of people who poured their lives into ours, and my kids and my grandkids are better off because of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Speaking of being better off because of being around people, we've been fortunate enough to do retreats with you guys, and y'all will talk and I'll be there
Yeah.
taking notes, and such a blessing to have that
Oh,
from,
you're very
people.
kind.
Yeah. So it's just been such an amazing thing for us too.
Well, thank
Is there
you.
anything
We
you
feel-
would add to what I was saying?
I would say community.
Mm.
Community is huge.
Mm-hmm.
Matt said church is huge. Your extended family is huge. Community is huge. We did not have the blessing of living around family. We moved to Houston in 1983 and knew no one. And so our church became our community. And then outside of that, we just developed a huge community. And that's super important for young people as they're starting out their lives and their marriage. I watch my nieces and nephews. I have a whole lot of nieces and nephews, and I'm watching them do the very same thing now. And it's super important to have that support, because if we don't, we can feel very lonely. So communities
We were
so important.
we were pretty proactive about that too.
Yeah.
We sought it out. We didn't just hope we had it. We went looking for it.
Yeah, and it's a sacrifice. I mean, you give up your evenings. You might be super tired after work, or you've been up all night with a baby. It's hard, but it is important for the long haul to have community.
Well, I was actually just sitting there as both of you were talking and wondering, was this something that you guys were intentional about, or happened by accident, or a combination of the two? I mean, were you guys aware of the need to have mentors, aware of the need to have
Yes.
community?
Yeah.
I think so. We weren't with family. We didn't have family around.
Yeah.
We didn't have dads who were around, or uncles. Everyone else lived
Our
6, 7
siblings.
hours away. We didn't have siblings. And we're both pretty community oriented people anyway, and need people. So, but even when you think that you don't need people, we really do.
Yeah.
We were designed for community. We were
Yeah, for sure.
designed. Some of us need more, some of us need less, but we still need it.
Have y'all read that there was a research that said 40% of females confess to not having a community or even people that they can count on And some of it they attribute it maybe to the problems that we encountered during COVID, but how
Mm.
isolating it was. And it reminded me of
Oh,
something in the office that said sometimes people just need a good listening to, but they need
yes.
that connection. They need that being
Yes.
part of something bigger than themselves.
Yeah.
Yes. It's so important. And it's good for us to reach out too and love on people as well. Not to just think, oh, people should be reaching out to me.
Yeah.
It's important for me to see someone who is lonely or to see someone who's hurting and reach out to them as well.
Mm-hmm. So true.
Well, so,
I don't know, Jim, I don't know if I've ever said it out loud in our marriage retreats or whatever, but the most common complaint over 4 decades of doing counseling I've heard from wives about their husbands is he doesn't have any friends.
mm,
Mm.
He may
Wow.
have acquaintances or colleagues that he enjoys, but they'll say, my husband doesn't have any friends. He doesn't have any confidants. There's these 3 ingredients that make a relationship healthy. One's transparency, authenticity, and vulnerability. And they're basically saying, my husband doesn't have any, he doesn't have that huddle,
Yeah.
that 4 to 6, 8 guys that he's authentic, transparent, and vulnerable with.
Huh.
He may have hunting buddies, he may have fishing buddies, he may have golf buddies, but he doesn't have any friends that are deep relationships. And I would like to say we knew we needed that, and we went searching for it. We didn't know exactly what we needed, but we knew we're in a town where we don't have any extended family, and we're newlyweds, and we got a 1-month-old. We'd better learn from some people who know what they're doing, and so with great humility, we were soaking it up wherever we, and God blessed us with some absolutely quality people.
Just to hitchhike on what Matt was saying about my husband doesn't have any friends, which I know sounds crazy to someone like you guys, because you have a million friends across the United States.
At your
that,
age.
at your
Our
age. You have a million friends that you see from one side of the United States to the other in what you're doing. And you guys you go deep with your friendships, but there are a lot of men who do not. And I see a lot of women in my practice who are miserable because their husbands retire and they sit in a recliner.
wow.
And I know it sounds crazy to people like you guys, because you're the opposite of that. But these women are miserable because their husbands have basically stopped living. And so it's real important for us to not only develop people in church that we're close to in small groups, but in our community, and to continue doing that.
Yeah.
So true.
So you guys know 5 years ago, we sold everything, hit the road, and we did a good job of planning it. I think we made a lot of great decisions. A few of them, we had to make some changes too. But the one thing that we found out very quickly was that we could replace all the stuff. We could replace, because we had so many great experiences, but what we could not replace was community. We couldn't replace the church. We couldn't replace racquetball. I couldn't replace guys like you, Matt. That was like, wait a minute, we've got this gigantic hole. We had to become very intentional about that, because it was a massive hole in the middle of everything. But we didn't realize how much we were involved in stuff and how much we depended on that. And Matt, I couldn't agree with you more when I have a chance to visit with men, is that they're not hanging around enough guys they can test their thoughts with.
That's a
The
good
things that they're
point.
thinking, the things they're believing, the things that they're acting on, the decisions they're making. They don't have other men that they can run that by, that would call them on their stuff if it doesn't make sense, or would encourage them when it does make sense, that would be there for them and say, hey, I think you're going to be awesome at this. How can I help you? I just don't think there's enough of that. So I couldn't agree with you more. And
I
again,
love that, Jim. I
Mhm.
love that you said they don't have enough men that they can test their thoughts.
yeah, and I think to some extent, you know better than I do, but some of them are afraid to test their thoughts.
Yeah, I was gonna say
Some of them want
that's
to,
the
yeah, they want to
vulnerability
stay in that
piece.
personal bias that they have about
Mhm.
how they're living their life. You know, they want to stay in that as
Right.
opposed to, as you know, as the Bible says, they don't want iron sharpening iron. They just soon stay dull. And that's a
Right.
terrible thing to say, but I think it's true. So,
Yeah. Yeah.
so what are you guys working on now? What's the latest? I mean,
Well, we fill our calendar with great things.
A lot of
And
intentional relational
ton
stuff.
of intentionality.
yeah,
Being empty nesters, we can do that, right? We're not driven by a school calendar anymore, or all the kids, all their sports and things like that. So we try to be super intentional. This next weekend, we're going to my nephew got married a few years ago, and he has a new baby. And his little wife invited us up to see them. So we're going to San Marcos.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
Julie, when I said earlier, I chose well. I got features in my wife that I didn't even know how much I would value later and how powerful they would be. And this is one. She's a giver. So we're in a season of our life where we're intentionally initiating and giving our time to people.
yeah,
Because one, selfishly, we know it makes our life richer and more enjoyable. But we're going to drive 3 hours and visit with her nephew. And I mean, it's not like a huge sacrifice. They're super
Yeah.
pleasant people who we are looking
Darling.
forward to seeing. And we're going to go spend the day with them. Then we'll come home. And last weekend, we had my oldest daughter and her husband and their youngest daughter. They all came to our house, and some friends from Memphis came in who are big Auburn football fans. The son goes to Auburn, and they met us, and we all went to the A&M Auburn game together. And as fun as that was, going to a big college football game, what was really rich, and Julie and I, ended the weekend yesterday afternoon with a wink, and like, man, that was everything we had hoped it would be in terms of a relational investment. We loved being with them. I think they enjoyed being with us. And it's like, let's just collapse at the finish line of this life doing stuff like that. So we look at our fall calendar, and
We fill it up.
and hopefully
Good.
we'll go to
Yeah.
church then as well. But
We
but that's something we're doing, the thing that you've been talking about, we as couples need to do, and we're being intentional about being relationally connected and giving back. And so we're planning, thinking it through, and it's not like we're just trying to stay busy so we don't have to be silent with one another. We enjoy each other's company when we don't have a busy weekend scheduled, but we certainly enjoy connecting with others.
wow.
And we see the value in it. We don't just
Yeah.
enjoy it. We think it's a great way to spend the resource of our time and energy and money.
Well, it kind of reminds me, if you look at somebody's calendar and at their checkbook, you'll tell what their priorities, and what an awesome priority to invest in other
Yeah.
people.
Our priorities are Costco,
Amazon,
Trader Joe's, and Julie's crock pot and oven, and her baking. Yeah. So
I've seen the fruits. I've tasted the fruits of Julie's crock pot and oven. So
it's a good way to live.
Well invested.
Yeah.
I'm not complaining.
Yeah. Yeah, you'd be a fool too, sir.
Well, we do love having house guests.
Yeah.
That's one of our favorite things. And hosting things is we both enjoy that. So
Well, y'all done a lot with your house. Could y'all create a little place I could back a 44-foot RV into with
you
Absolutely.
could,
hookups and
you
everything?
could, in a heartbeat.
If you did though, I might hook up to it in the middle of the night and leave town, and you'd go, where'd that trailer go?
Well, you'd have to take us
Let's
with you.
trade.
So, speaking of words of wisdom that we got from you, one of the things that I used to hear you say is sometimes people aren't good customers for change. So,
Yeah.
what do you think are some common roadblocks that happen to couples or even individuals that stop them
Great
from
question.
growing and changing? What comes to mind for you guys?
You want to take us a step?
I see, again, like I'm saying, I see a lot of women in practice. And sometimes I'll meet a woman who is not a customer for change. She's made some really hard decisions that have not been good for her. And she may have really hurt her husband and her family. But she's not sorry. She's not a customer for change. And I think one of the things that is an indicator of that is that she feels so hurt by her spouse. She's so hurt by him, and it's a pattern that goes on and on and on for years, that he hasn't been a customer for change, or she doesn't feel that. And so she becomes dull to him and is not interested in changing. And it's a lot of convincing on my part to try to help her see that it's important for her to change and grow. So sometimes it's the environment that she's in. Sometimes it's trauma from her past, and she doesn't know how to be a customer for change. So that's delicate too, right? We have to really go backwards and dig and find that ground that was really hurt, and then fertilize it and help it grow. And that's a beautiful thing to watch someone change in that way.
Yeah, so true.
Yeah.
Think of all of us, myself included, we are all resistant to change. I mean, when you learn to be a therapist, really what sets therapists apart is who is really effective at helping clients in their resistance. Because you can be a customer for counseling and not be a customer for change. You can be willing to come to a counselor, a therapist, and pay money week in and week out, but not be a customer for change. I mean, we all know it. We all know this intuitively, because if you've attended church for very long, you can be a customer for church and not be a customer for change.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
I mean, how many doctors have told me you ought to think about losing 20 pounds? And it's like, I'm a customer for medicine, but I'm not a customer for change, apparently. It's like, okay, well, now you're meddling. Just give me an antibiotic.
I was going to say, can you use some other example, please, sir?
I want to feel better quick, for crying out loud. Get me out of here. So that's common. That's true for all of us. We have resistance to change. I used to, I kid you not, I used to pray for clients to have insight, because in my naivety, I thought, man, if I could just find the right insights or help them find an insight, they'll turn the corner and make these definitive and wonderful changes in their life, or in my life. If I could just had more insight into this problem. I don't know, maybe 20 years ago, I realized, Pete, we don't need insight. We need courage. We need just courage to change, to go up against our own resistance to change and face it and go, yeah, I need to I need to approach my wife or my relationships differently. Julie will say to me, she's very gracious. She'll go, "Can I talk to you about something? Can we talk?" Which is code
Uh-oh.
for,
Which is
I want to bring up something that you very likely need to change. I'm not just blowing smoke here. and I used to go, Lord, help me find a way out of whatever she's about to trap me in. But now it's like, oh, I'm going to need the courage to listen and then evaluate and assess and make timely and necessary changes. I mean, we're all all of us get stuck. I mean, that's not unusual about any of us. And we all have blind spots, which is it's true of all of us. So it's in those blind spots and in our stuckness that we have resistance to change, and to be a customer for change at some level says, "Hey, babe, what are blind spots you're seeing in my life these days?" And then Julie will say, "Well, how much time do we have?" I'll say, "Not very much. Let's just move on. Never mind. Let's listen to some rock music instead."
Well, I remember somebody telling me as a counselor, I couldn't cure, change, or control another person. And we can't do that.
Yeah.
We want
Right.
to be able to do that for ourselves. And I
Right.
thought, oh, but like I said, to go along the journey with somebody as you do encourage them and as you do emphasize what they are doing well, or, helping them navigate that, I think can be very helpful. So,
Yeah. Yeah.
So Matt, there have been a number of times you and I've had lunch or something, and I've asked you a question, and you've just dumped something on me I found so insightful. What's at the core of all of this for all of us, even those of us who are committed learners? There's still that core, something at the essence of that. What's your thoughts about what's the bottom of all this?
Jim, I don't say this as if I'm speaking with absolute truth, but I think it's deception. I think at the core of our human nature, in our fallenness, is deception. We're deceived as to who God is. We're deceived as to who we are, made in the image of God and joint heirs with Jesus Christ, especially when we're redeemed and we've been saved by placing our faith in Christ. And we're also deceived as to who the enemy is. So we fail to do adequate spiritual warfare. We fail to adequately live in and out of our redeemed identity. And it's like J.B. Phillips, the old theologian of old, said, "Your God is too small." We fail to know God as he is. And I think in that, you can't read the New Testament without being told several times, do not be deceived. You reap what you sow. Do not be deceived. Usually it's Paul talking, but he says it as if it's a constant thing. And about the time we deal with a deception and go, I used to be deceived about X, Y, and Z, but not anymore. That just opens our eyes up to see other places we're deceived.
Yeah.
I mean, the mature saints of old, the more mature they became, the more they realized how much they need the cross and the resurrection and how much they need the Holy Spirit. They don't become arrogant. They become humble. It's like, oh my gosh, I've been so deceived. And I think when we get to heaven, we go, golly, I can't believe I lived so far under who I actually was in Christ. And I can't believe I ignored the enemy like I did. And I can't believe God was there all along and I failed to see him. I'm actually looking forward to that revelation.
So true.
He's going to be there. He's going to go, seriously? Are you serious? You really thought that? But I was there for you, man.
I know, right?
That is so good.
Exactly.
Again, folks, there was. I mean, boom.
Yeah. I think too, just to hitchhike on that deception, we drift so far from where we ought to keep our eyes on,
Mhm.
who we need to keep our eyes on.
Yeah.
We drift, and it can be so subtle. We don't even really realize it's happening.
Mhm.
And then the deception comes in as we drift. So we have to be so careful to keep our eyes on the one who made us, the creator,
Yeah.
who caused all of this to take place.
Yeah.
And keep our eyes on him, and keep our eyes on our home and our family and the things that we value. We
Yeah.
can drift so easily.
Mhm.
You can tell there's a little bit of passion in Julie about that whole drifting
Well,
Mhm.
interesting that word came up.
metaphor.
That word came up earlier in I think our first podcast this month. Christy was using that same word. So
Oh,
the Holy Spirit
Oh.
there doing a little bit of work and
Yeah.
bringing that
yeah.
maybe not to anybody else's mind, but ours.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Whenever I'm asked to speak and I don't know what I'm going to talk about at a church or something, usually just to fill in because the pastor is going to be out or something, I'll go, Julie will say, what are you going to speak on? And I go, I don't know, I haven't decided yet. And she'll always say, why don't you talk about drifting?
Yeah.
There you
Okay.
go. Yeah. So
It's like you can't go. I mean, seriously, you talk about drifting or unforgiveness,
Or
those
deception.
are deception. Those are topics that everybody can identify with.
Yeah.
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 Everybody but us. Of
Yeah.
course.
Yeah.
Oh gosh, I'm feeling convicted listening. So nobody else will hear this podcast but me at this point. Right.
So anything tool wise that you could see that couples could use or need for helping them with drift, deception, or just to keep learning and keep growing? Any tools that come to mind for you guys?
Well, I know that there are so many great books and so many great podcasts. Oh my goodness. Just like what you guys are doing. I mean, this is phenomenal.
Mhm.
I love that you're doing a podcast because it's so easy to put a podcast on. You can, or, drive and listen.
It's not for Jim.
But we listen
Not at my
to,
age.
not to put it, but I love that you're doing a podcast. And I think that's phenomenal. And all the books, the resources are just great. One thing that I have found is couples, I've met so many couples who don't take time to reflect with each other.
Mhm.
And I think that's a beautiful tool to
Mhm.
sit down at the end of the day together and reflect on your day
Mhm.
and snuggle. And how was your day? How can I love you? How can I love you better? How can I support you in that?
Mhm.
People don't do that.
Yeah.
And I think that is just such a beautiful connection. And if you can't do it every day, I understand, but try to do it as often as possible. Sit and reflect and talk to each other. Find a space in your calendar where you do that. It is like pulling teeth sometimes to get couples to do that. And I find that so interesting.
Mhm.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So that is a tool that sounds silly and it sounds so simple, but it is something that people aren't doing anymore.
Mm.
And
Yeah.
I will say, listen, go sit outside and catch a sunset and get your favorite beverage and sit down and tell the kids they cannot interrupt you. This is
Yeah.
mom and dad time. Give me 30 minutes with mom.
Mhm.
And or give me 30 minutes with dad. Go play. This is my time with your daddy.
Mhm.
And I don't know, or put the kids to bed, whatever you have to do, but reflect and spend time together, hold hands, just talk.
Mhm. I can't tell you how many times I've asked couples, what have 30 minutes of conversations that don't deal with the 3 P's, parenting priorities or problems, and they'll go, we would have nothing to talk about. And I'll go, okay, so
Yeah.
here's your assignment.
Yeah.
So,
Right.
So Matt,
Right.
what would you?
Right. That's good, Christy.
What would I say? Well, I immediately went to some of the same places Julie just said. If you're going to be a learner, then position yourself personally and as a couple as students. So we're listening. We have a 30-minute commute to the office, so we have an hour, both ways each day. We're going to San Marcos this weekend, so that's going to be almost a 3-hour trip. And we'll be listening to stuff about relational health, about marriage, about integrity in the workplace. I mean, those are just common themes that we listen to. And so being a learner, it's like, hey, let's listen to something together as we go down the road. But even beyond finding a great teaching tool, it's humbling yourself to recognize I need to be taught. I have not arrived. It's
Yeah,
like
sure.
I am unfinished business here. And her joy of marriage will come from how effective I am at working on Matt and vice versa.
Wow. When you were saying, one of you were saying a while ago, it seems like the more we have our eyes open, the more we realize we need our eyes open even
Yeah.
then. It's like God was like going, you think that was something? Well, I got something else for you here.
Yeah.
Right.
Frankly, I think that's the fun part, is that we have experienced, and I know you guys, the more God opens our eyes and opens doors, and the more joy we have, the more we expect there's going to be more joy tomorrow. And I think a lot of couples don't expect that God's got something better for them than they could formulate on their own. And our experience is, not only is there more, it's exponentially more. So we're kind of along that. Whatever challenge you got, bring it. Come on, because we know at the end of it, you've got something for us. It's gonna take us to a different level in our relationship with each other and in a relationship with Him. So,
Yeah.
any encouragement you would have for somebody that's getting to the end of this podcast or listening to it, and they feel convicted or challenged, or the Holy Spirit's broken their heart or whatever? What encouragement would you have for somebody that's something to do?
Go ahead.
You go ahead.
But we're never too old to change.
Amen.
And we're never too old. And people will say, I'm just set in my ways. Okay. But you're never too old to change a little bit and to grow and to blossom into something you never dreamed that you would be able to do or be. And so I would just say, don't become stagnant. Don't let yourself settle. Keep growing. Keep blossoming. Keep blooming.
Love that word.
Yep.
Love that thought.
It's the biggest mistake we can make is to not ask for help.
Oh,
Julie and I have been to marriage counseling before as a couple. I've been to individual. I remember one time my dad died 15 years ago, and several months after he passed, I said to Julie, I think I might go seek therapy regarding some dad issues. What do you think about that? She said, duh. So
you want me to drive you?
I can pick up on
You
her.
think?
I can pick up on her
Oh.
subtle hints, And I said, so you think that'd be a good idea? And she goes, yeah, that'd be a good idea. Anyway, and it was super helpful. I mean, it didn't change my life, but it changed many a day in my life. Just some nuances and some things crooked places that I straightened out, and some healing that was timely, and insights. I gained some insights, but when you have but when you have impasses and you get stuck, ask for help. I mean, we do it in every other vocational endeavor, fields of interest. We get consulting. We Google stuff. We go to the bookstore and stand in front of the relationship section and pull book titles and read book. I mean, every problem that comes up in our office that couples face, somebody's written a book about.
Yeah.
And some of them are really good books, and some of them have chapters in their books that are exactly what you need to make application of. So people will tell me all the time, oh, I don't believe in counseling. Okay, well, do you believe in learning at all? Or are you just going to figure everything out in life on your own? Because that's a slow way to grow. So yeah, the biggest mistake we'll make is not ask for help. So
Yeah.
look for the places that you feel stuck or you're spinning your wheels, and identify someone who can help you get unstuck. You know, that's just
Yeah.
it's served us so well.
Good.
Well, guys, I guess, is there anything else y'all want to share with us before we could go on and on, but
I know we could.
Well, there is one thing. We're gonna have a baby.
we're okay. You
I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
I was like,
I'm going to cut that out and send it to the kids.
yeah.
Yeah, cut that part out.
Sexual harassment at the workplace has its cost. Well, guys, it's been too long, and we adore
Yes.
you. We love
Yeah,
you.
love you guys.
This relationship is one of the richest, if not the richest, we have with adults and everything, and we're going to have to be intentional about making sure we get with you guys.
Yes,
that far up there.
Absolutely.
please come stay with
Perry's
us.
got a 4-hour meal waiting for all 4 of us to sit down,
Absolutely.
and we've got to
Sure
do.
does.
Thank you so much.
Sure does.
for-
Thank you
not-
so much.
Not thanks for this. Thanks for who you are.
Yes.
Back at ya.
That will come through on this podcast. And you know, I know somebody's going to hear something out there and go, "Oh wow, I need to make a move here." So thank you for your time. We love you guys.
Thank you,
Appreciate
We love you too.
Thanks for having
and,
us.
Thank you
well,
so much.
hopefully we'll see you soon.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. Sounds good.
Okay. Bye for now.
Guys.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.